Josh starts off this hour in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So we are working on baby step two. We started off with about 203,000, and we paid off about 90,000 since last August.
Wow.
So we've been hitting it really hard. Well, part of that was we sold a house in California and moved to Idaho, so that helped.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have my son is 4 years old, and he's about to have a major surgery next year. It'll be surgery number 10 for him.
Wow.
And so as we look forward to, he's got some skeletal issues, so he's totally fine. It's just they need to fix some bone stuff. And so as we look forward to that and we begin planning for that process, I'm looking at our debt situation, and I can pay off by the time of his surgery about $46,000 by next year with some increased income that's about to happen. And that's before we get the surgery. So my question really is do I focus on paying down that debt and saving $400 a month in payments by the time we go to that surgery, or do I pause baby step two and save up the pile of money like I would for a pregnancy of some sort like you recommend, and still have that afterwards? I just still have that debt there, but if we do that, then by the time the surgery comes, if I don't pause baby step two, I'll only have two debts left, our two biggest.
Yeah.
So the momentum side of me wants to just pay on baby step two and roll those new medical bills into baby step two once they come in.
I got you.
Just to keep that momentum going. So that's the question.
How many kids have you got?
Just him. Once we had him, we wanted to focus on getting him taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like the little guy's been through it.
He has, but he's you never know. He's the happiest kid in the world.
Yeah. Kids that face that stuff are tough. I mean,
He is, yeah.
but I'm not. Oh my gosh, it makes me cry. Poor little guy. All right. So the surgery that he's having, your health insurance covers it?
So we're not sure. So part of that scenario is my wife is going to start her private practice. She's a clinical therapist, and so we're going to see a massive increase in income, but that's also going to come with a change of insurance. So we're not sure what that looks like yet. And as far as how much it'll cover, plus the specialist, we're in Idaho, and the specialist who he works with is in Florida, so it's going to throw some wrenches into that. So we're just not sure what that looks like yet. It will cover some of it. It'll be a question of how much.
Okay. All right. Well, job one is take care of him.
Sure.
And you'll get around to the debt. And so to the extent you actually have to pay money for the surgery or for the medical, you're going to, once you define, what you need to do is spend a lot of time and effort clearly defining what your financial exposure is, what you are going to have to pay. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then that gives us our number. And I need that number if I'm you. Once I've got that number, then that number happens before any further debt reduction happens.
Okay.
But if you've got, an HSA with a $5,000 deductible and they pick up 100 cents on the dollar after that, then you need $5,000. Shut up. I mean, you could figure that out. But if you need $56,000, it's a whole nother world, right?
Sure.
So little guy's number one priority. Okay, we're going to take care of our
Okay.
dadgum family before we take care of a bunch of
Right.
debt goobs. Okay, so that's it. I mean, no question about where your priorities lie, my priorities lie on that. So I think before you decide whether you're going to have to stop, temporarily push pause like a pregnancy or like a potential job loss in the future, meaning you're not going to be working your baby steps, you're going to push pause and pile up cash because freaking hurricane's coming and we need a storm shelter. And it's very predictable. We know right where that thing is, So, but the trick is this: we don't stop on vague worries of, and a surgery is not a vague worry. But if you just say, "Oh, he's got to have a surgery," well, okay. So, but what is the cost to you? That's what makes the
Right.
decision. It's not that the surgery is going to happen. We're gonna do what we need to do for the little guy. So.
Right.
Yeah, let's get the insurance moved, and in that process, figure out what you're liable for out of pocket, what you're going to have to come up with, and then I would push pause. And matter of fact, I'd go ahead and push pause now, but give yourself then 30 days or 45 days to figure out while you're piling up some cash what your out-of-pocket's going to be with these insurance changes, and do you have to travel to Florida? Are you going to pay the specialist to fly up to Idaho? I don't know. What's got to come out of your pocket that insurance is not going to cover? And we need that money before we push play again.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does. It was just one of those things of like we have so much momentum, and I can see the
well,
like,
and on the other hand, you got on the one side you got all this momentum, but obviously you can't not take care of the kid. You know that.
Sure. Yeah.
And so
yeah.
And people tend to swing the other way, and they go, "Oh, we're having this surgery, so all bets are off," and then you figure out that they're $5,000 out of pocket, and basically from a financial perspective. Not an emotional perspective, but from a financial perspective, they were being drama queen, and they should have just kept plowing. Because if you got $5,000 out of pocket, you budget that between now and next year, and you keep plowing, right?
Right. Yeah. Because with the increased income, we're anticipating having about $5,000 a month to be able to throw onto debt. It's going to be pretty substantial.
Well, and so you're just going to in your budget be ready for $5,000 or $10,000. You can handle that. But if it's $50,000 or $60,000 you're looking for out of pocket, then we're going to have to stop and get ready to take care of little guy.
Right.
This is how you do it. That's the critical thinking process that you're going to use to get at this. So that's very cool. Good. I'm glad you're there to take care of him. I'm glad he's got a dad and mom like he has. That's pretty cool. Little guys are, man, they're tough. We've certainly, with team members, we've got about 1,000 folks working here, and with all the financial coaching over all these years, we've seen some situations with the babies where your heart is in your throat, your stomach's in your throat, and you still have to make good, solid decisions that you don't lose your mind and go completely off the rocker and just check out. What happens is people, they just, okay, I can't emotionally deal with the money piece and all of this stress with my baby being sick. And so I'm just going to work on the baby being sick, and I'm going to let all the money stuff go into the toilet. And see, then that makes a bigger mess. So what you have to do is you have to reserve a little bit in your tank to make sure you're dealing with the money stuff so that you're there emotionally and financially for the needs of the child. It's tough, man. That's tough. That's heartbreaking.